Welcome to Virtually Creative on Demand, presented by Fulton County Arts and Culture. My name is Tisha Smith, Arts Education Coordinator with the Darnell Aviation Museum and Conference Center. And today we're going to be creating Doodle Bots. We're going to examine the A in STEAM and pull out some fun activities for you to engage in while creating this Doodle Bot. So let's get started. You're probably asking yourself, what is a Doodle Bot? A Doodle Bot is a constructed robot or bot that doodles on the surface that it's placed on. It actually works too, and it's very fun. Creates some very nice designs on the surface that it doodles on that could be used in other art compositions if you so choose. So let's get started constructing our bot. Today for your Doodle Bot, you're going to need a 12-ounce cup, paper cup. Coffee cup is preferred. This has a nice matte surface, so it takes paint, acrylic, whether it be watercolor, crayons, permanent markers very well, all right? You're gonna need a AA battery holder, 2 AA batteries. You're gonna need a cork, a craft stick, a DC motor, maybe some Googly eyes for decoration, crayons if you choose to use them. You're definitely going to need some markers, about 3 or 4 of them for the legs as you see here. You're going to need a craft knife, scissors, tape, and some hot glue if desired. All right, let's get started. First, we're going to decorate our bot. I'm going to use, let's see, this gold Sharpie here and make me some nice big circles on my bot to get started. Just placing them wherever. You can decorate and design your Doodle Bot however you desire. Perhaps you want to make it look more Android-like and wrap it in aluminum foil. The level of creativity is limited to you. The possibilities are endless. I think I have enough circles on here to start filling in. All right, I'm gonna start coloring in my Doodle Bot, and actually have one already prepared that I've put some Googly eyes on. Now you don't have to stick with just the Googly eyes if you want to add more. Let's see, I'll put maybe I have an alien bot and put another eye on it right here at the center. Use my hot glue. You want to be careful when you're using anything that has that's involved with heat. Hot glue does get very hot and it can burn the skin, so be careful. I got another eye on my bot. Next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut a hole at the top of your bot, which is actually the bottom of your cup, as you can see. So you're going to flip it over once it's decorated and cut a small hole large enough for your motor to fit into. All right, I already have my hole cut, and I use my craft knife to do so, and just cut somewhat like a letter D, and I folded the inside down so it can have more stability when the motor is laying up against it. I'm going to attach the battery wires, the battery pack wires to the motor. Simply put them in, fold them over, and twist, making sure that you have enough wire at the end loose and free from the plastic casing to wrap it around the leads of the motor, I'm sorry. Want to test it out to make sure it works. You're going to have your on and off switch on the back. These items can be found on Amazon, which the video will include a link for so. It's very powerful. So we're gonna have a good strong bot. So now that I've connected the battery pack with the batteries to the motor, I'm going to insert the motor inside the bot, pulling out the top of the motor out of the bot just so, all right? You want the part that actually is going to be moving, exposed enough to where it's not hitting the bot in motion. All right, once it's placed, you can take a little hot glue, and further secure the motor around the top of your bot. Again, be careful with the hot glue gun because it does get pretty hot and it can burn your skin. So parents, make sure that you're doing this with your younger children, and the younger adults, make sure that you be very careful. All right, I'm gonna let that dry a little bit before I flip it over to affix the battery pack to the inside of the Doodle Bot. In the meantime, while I'm letting that dry, I'm gonna go ahead and place the battery pack cover back on the battery. Now, you would notice that there is a little hole here that does fit a small screw. This particular pack did not come with the screw, but when you order it, they may come with the screw. You just place the screw back on there, but it just slides right on into place like so. Make sure that when you affix your battery pack to the inside of your cup, that the on and off switch is exposed. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and use some of my double stick tape. And if you wanna further secure it, just to make sure that it's firmly secure, you can use hot glue for this as well. Get it in there, nice and firm, pressing it against the inside of the surface well enough for it to have a good tack. Remove that particular sticky part, and my lead came off of my battery, and that does happen off of my motor. I'm just going to put that back so we can have a working Doodle Bot. Pull it out. When you are putting your wires to your leads, make sure that you give it a little twist so you won't have this issue of it coming back off and you're thinking that your Doodle Bot isn't working, whereas it's just the lead has come off of the wire, the wire has come off of the lead of the battery. Or the motor, I'm sorry. There we go. And now I'm gonna grab the markers that I wish to use for the legs. Let's see, go with the purple, the red, and the blue. I'm gonna affix the legs to the bot like so. I'm only using 3. You can use 4 if you desire, just to give it a more balanced legs. The 3 usually works pretty well if you place it in a tripod fashion, so like 2 in the front and then 1 in the back to make it balanced. Do remember that the motor and the battery pack does have some weight to it, so you want to make sure that the legs are placed high enough on your Doodle Bot to add stability, so when it starts to wiggle over, it doesn't topple over. But that does come with balancing your cork as well as your craft stick onto the top of the motor. You will see in a second. All right, I'm going to hot glue this marker right here because it stays better for me when I do it that way. Making sure that you're being careful, adding some pressure to the bottom side of it to make sure that the markers stay secure to your bot. All right, we have 2 on. I'm gonna put the 1 in the back, and I might end up putting 4 on here. And make sure that when you're gluing them on, you're gluing them with the tip part down, all right? Because we're gonna be taking these off. We're gonna, once I get this leg glued down, we're gonna stand it up and see if it stands on its own well enough to have just 3 legs, or do I need to add a 4th leg? I think I need to add a 4th leg. All right, let's do this hot pink. I like the pink. All right, we got our bot standing up and it looks pretty balanced. We might not get much purple because the purple isn't down far enough, but we're definitely gonna get some blue, some pink, and some red. Let's adhere the propeller. All right. Corks are generally easy to place onto shop objects. However, some of them are pressed very tightly and you may need to assist with being able to put it on by boring a little hole into the cork as I have done, all right? That will allow it to go on all the way onto the motor. And I'm just gonna push, right. Next step is you're gonna add your craft stick or your propeller. I'm going to take the bottoms off of the markers, the tops off of the markers rather. And let's see if our bot gets to doodling. Powering it on. Oops. Doodle Bot. And it's doing some really good doodling too. It's fun, it flew my craft stick off. So you see, this may not be as important if you put it in a place where it's level, all right? But look at the cool doodles that it's making. This reminds me of those spiral circles that we used to play with when we were kids, and you could put them in and you draw around, but this is what this is doing. Look how cool that is. You guys have fun with this. Thank you so much for participating. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna go home and make me some more, and maybe I have me a whole Doodlebot community. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys have fun with making this as much as I did, and we look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye.